last night that you'll review everything and look to make necessary adjustments. At this point, do you expect that to include any changes to the staff?
No, no. We've game 5. We've got 12 left to play. There's plenty of football left, and we haven't had an opportunity to finish. Working on things that I talked about last night. We still got several things to go through.
Hey,
And,
Ron.
and
Oh, sorry.
and with Emmanuel Forbes, two tough games. It
Hmm.
gets benched yesterday. Where do you go from here with him? How do you, like, with his confidence? What do you want to see from him going forward?
Well, I think one of the things that we've got to continue to do with him and continue to stress is that work your technique, work your technique, work your technique. Young man has a tremendous skill set. A little all over the place with his technique. Work his technique. We'll continue to work with him just like we will with all of our young guys. We really believe that a lot of these young guys have opportunities and ability. We just got to continue to work with them.
Ron, you have the defensive staff is all back except for Chris Harris. Most of these players are back. The stars from last year. How surprised are you that this group is playing the way they have been? And just and what do you attribute it to?
Well, I'm a little disappointed more so than I am surprised. I just think that some of the things that we have to do is we have to play a little bit more discipline. We're going to stop trying to do more than we need to. And do our jobs. Probably the basic thing that goes to it. And as I said, we're taking a look at some of the things that we're doing with them. Are we truly putting them in the best position to make plays? And that's the thing that we have to look at and go through in the next next day.
And then with Emmanuel, there were a couple. He had some hiccups in that Baltimore scrimmage as well. Did you feel like he learned enough of the lessons there, or why is it taking him longer to learn some of these lessons?
That's one of the things that as we were going through training camp, we saw certain things that told us he's getting it. He's doing the things that you would like him to do. We saw it in some of the in some of the practices. We saw it in some of the preseason games. Those little detail things that he was getting better at, and he's got to continue to clean those things up, and he's got to be more disciplined and use the techniques that we're teaching him.
On some of those explosive plays came after guys were trying to be aggressive jump routes or go for the ball instead of tackling.
Mm-hmm.
Is that linked to or an unintended consequence of Jack emphasizing turnovers so much this offseason?
It could be. I mean, that's a guess right there as what that what Jack emphasizes causes. But as you said, though, when you're trying to jump routes, when you're trying to make plays, you're trying to do more than you need to. Those unfortunate things are going to happen. You try to jump a route and the guy makes a catch, and next thing you know, it's an explosive play. You go to secure a tackle, you miss a tackle that turns into an explosive play. Again, there's some individual things that need to be cleaned up. Guys trying to do more than they need to, and sometimes you got to give credit to the other guy as well.
And how do you put your players in a better position to succeed on defense? What are those options that are on the table?
Well, a lot of it has some of it has to do with looking at some of the choices that we make calls on, and that's one thing that to do it. Giving them some liberties with some of the techniques, or demanding certain things with certain techniques that just have to be done. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Thank you.
Ron, I know you can't put a percentage on it, but when you start to examine the tape,
Mm-hmm.
how much do you think is the physical error of tackling high or not wrapping up, and how much of it is poor technique that puts you in a bad position where you have to make a poor tackling decision?
I think that's a part of it, David. I really do. I think part of it is guys really working to get themselves in the best position, not trying to butt tackle, and by that I mean you just try to knock the guy off his feet without wrapping, and that's one of the things that really has to be worked and developed, and that is you have to be able to grab cloth, lock onto a guy, and bring him down. Part of it too is with the emphasis of trying to get the head out of tackling, which is important. Guys have got to learn to use their shoulders even more so now. And with limited opportunities now during the regular season to practice that, your tackling techniques, as the season goes, guys should improve their tackling.
To Sam's question a little bit, I mean, forcing turnovers was just
Mm-hmm.
an area of emphasis team-wide. It wasn't
Yes.
whether it was Jack or you or whoever. It was everybody was saying we got to force more turnovers. and you have 5 after 5 games. And I just wonder, what are you seeing that's not putting them in a position to create more turnovers?
Well, I think part of it is just ball awareness first and foremost. We've gotten some real good pass rush for the most part. Part of it is when you're coming in as a pass rusher, you've got to be able to get that ball out. We've had the ball on the ground. I think it was three in the last 2 games that we didn't get close to, and we have to be aware of that. When the ball's down, you've got to be ready to jump on it, scoop it, and score it. Those are the types of things that you got to continue to work on. We have an emphasis on it every week as far as the takeaways are concerned. We go through a circuit, and I think it's something that we got to continue to focus on, because when they do come, they're going to be very helpful.
We've talked about, obviously, when you guys fall behind, you're going to be in passing situations a lot. But what's your concern level about the offensive line in general and being able to protect Sam in those situations that are obvious passing downs?
Well, it is a little bit of concern as far as that's concerned. But I also do think part of it is on Sam just getting rid of the ball sometimes. Instead of trying to prolong the play and make a play downfield, which is one of his strengths, but at the same time it could be a detriment. But I do think, the key also is just trying to put ourselves in that position. I mean, you get down the way you get down, it makes it easy for the opponent to just put those ears back and go.
Just to flip it to the offense, what did you see on tape from the offense, and particularly that slow start in the first half?
Well, after the first two series of going 3 and out, really just kind of saw them settle in and do some things. Give ourselves a chance. I thought the play in the third quarter was really good. Unfortunately, we had the fumble that hurt us. But there were some really bright spots, some things that really showed what we're capable of. And then, unfortunately, it got away from us a little bit, in the middle of the fourth quarter. But they did the things that gave us a chance, scored some points. We got some good defensive play at that stretch as well that gave us a chance. And then, like I said, it got a little bit away from us.
And whether we're talking about Emmanuel or anybody else, what's that line now that you're 5 games into the year and having lost 3 in a row of letting the kids play through mistakes like you talked about last week versus, hey, we got to get this win. We can't sit here and nurse somebody through some of their problems right now.
Well, I think doing what we did, with Emmanuel was kind of the indicator that we can't go through this anymore. Now it's time. We have to continue to put the guys out there that we believe are gonna get it done the right way.
We've talked a lot about the fan base being more engaged this year. You have a lot of angry fans today. I'm just kind of wondering what your message is to the fans.
Well, first of all, we let them down. I mean, I'm disappointed that we let them down. And, like I said last night, a lot of it begins with me. I'm the head coach, and I got to make sure that, when we get out there, we're doing the things the way we need to get them done. And obviously we didn't. So that's on me to begin with. We'll get those things corrected. We're a young team. We have some young players that we're trying to develop and get them out there and doing the things we need them to do. But, every time we play, though, we're gonna play to win. We're gonna give them our best, and sometimes our best isn't as good as it needs to be. We got to get those things corrected, and that's the truth of the matter.
Anybody else? All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right, cool. Thank you.